Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joanna, but you can call me Jojo. I like to make videos about hobbies that I try and love doing in the hopes that I inspire you to start out hobbies that you've always been wanting to do. And my videos usually have some pretty basic step-by-step guides on what to do and what you need to get started. And if you're just here to watch some relaxing content, well, you've also come to the right place. So I'm using the Sculpey brand, and this is my second time working with air-dried clay. If you don't have this tool available to tear off the piece that you want, you can just use your hands to pull the amount of clay you want, or you can use something like floss, and that would also do the trick. I'm using the Sculpey brand for the air-dried clay batch, but there are plenty of other options out there available. Based on other videos I've seen, DAS, D-A-S, is a very popular one. And if you're just starting out, you can also use the Crayola brand. And when you're just starting out, you don't necessarily need to buy tools right away. If you have something like a cylindrical shaped item, like a water bottle, that would work perfectly for rolling out your clay. And then if you want to shape your items, you can simply use your hands and fingers, or even better, you could use straws, spare spoons, forks, or knives that you have in the kitchen. Prior to starting the magnet making process, I did plan out some magnets and I sketched them out. If you would like to, you can make your own templates using cardboard or paper that you just cut out yourself, and you can lay it over the clay and use that as a guide to cut the pieces out. I just wanted to freehand them this time. When you're putting in the details and smoothing out your clay piece, I recommend having a cup of water nearby just to add a little bit of moisture in to make it easier. When I was planning what magnets I wanted to make, I remembered that I had drawn a bunny in a carrot suit last year, and I wanted to bring that character to life. Here's a little picture of it. I then learned that apricots and strawberries are actually in season during the springtime in North America, and because I love eating fruits, I wanted to make some fruit magnets to decorate my fridge. I don't typically eat apricots, but I do have a nostalgic memory of picking them when I was at an orchard when I was probably 4 or 5 years old. When I had leftover scraps, I decided I would make a square out of it, and that would kind of be like a canvas that I could paint on. In addition to making magnets, I also wanted to make a couple of other trinkets. I'm sure you've seen pictures of ducks with flowers on their heads floating around on the internet, and I wanted to make one to have as a desk friend to replace my winter bird I had hanging out on my desk. I made a lot of the parts of the duck body separately, so when you're attaching two separate pieces, it's important to score both pieces with a sharp object like my X-Acto knife, and then add some water to the area where you'll end up mushing both of the pieces together. I decided to reinforce the head with another layer of clay around the neck area. I was afraid it wasn't going to hold, and I think this part held pretty well. I didn't do so great with scoring the duck feet and the flower very well to attach, as you'll see later in the video, but I fixed that up with some hot glue, or not hot glue, but regular super glue. If you made it this far in the video, I just wanted to say a quick thank you, and I hope you're enjoying it and find it helpful. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing or hitting the like button. I have the goal to reach 1,000 followers by the end of the year, and subscribing would mean so much to me. Thank you again, and I hope you continue to enjoy the video. The next thing I'm making is a ginkgo leaf trinket dish, which was originally going to be a gift from my best friend. But in the process of sanding it down, I accidentally broke the stem and I glued it together with super glue, and I'll be keeping this one, but I will be remaking one for her in the future. I used a small bowl to shape the trinket dish, and I left it in there to dry. Now we're on to the exciting step. After I sanded down the pieces and dusted them off, I primed the magnets with white acrylic paint, and that'll just provide a smooth surface to paint the details on. It's important to not skip this step because when you put the white paint on, the clay tends to absorb some of that paint, so this is to ensure that the color that you put later will not be absorbed as well. Here's a little leaf that will have a cute little ladybug hanging out on it. I had a clip of myself cutting this piece out earlier, but I forgot to mention what I would be doing for it. I love the shade of red that I painted onto the strawberry. I didn't have to change any color. This is just straight from the acrylic paint set that I have. But you'll see that I changed the shade of the strawberry to a much lighter pink, and I like that pink much better than the original one I had gone with. In this upcoming section, you'll see I'm using paint markers, and these are from the Ohuhu brand. I use them to paint in all the tinier details. I sketched in the tinier details with a pencil. Next time I would go much lighter because these were definitely heavy-handed and you could kind of see them even with the paint layered on. I really had a lot of fun drawing out the flower bouquet on this magnet. I wanted to make a pendant-like magnet that you could probably find on somebody's necklace, and this is like the big version of it. I really like how dainty it looks, and it's definitely very different from the rest of the magnets and figurines, trinkets that I made. And we are almost done with the painting, and the next step will be glazing the trinkets with UV resin. I recommend waiting at least 24 hours to have the paint fully dry. Before using UV resin, it's important to put on personal protective equipment, including a respirator, goggles, and gloves. Make sure the room you're working in is well ventilated and at least has a window open with a fan running if possible. I started with the top layer on one side and cured those pieces first, and then after I cured one side, I flipped them over and painted the other side. When you're using UV resin, make sure it is compatible with the UV lamp that you're using. I had originally used a UV lamp that's generally used for nails, and that was definitely not strong enough in terms of wattage, so keep that in mind if you start using UV resin to glaze any pieces. I attached the magnets to the back with a tiny dab of super glue and pressed down firmly according to the instructions to have the surfaces properly adhere. And just as a tip, I used the end of an old paintbrush to prevent accidentally touching any glue. Don't need to do what I did where I just used my fingers to push it on. And I have a pair of crafting tweezers, I don't know if that's what they're called, that I will use next time I am doing a project like this. As a finishing touch for the ducky, I wanted to add a little ribbon around its neck, and it definitely took longer than this entire clip to put it on, so don't be fooled, it took much longer than this. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.